My bike does have 13 gears. You heard me go through all 13 of them back there on the start. But I have a good excuse, I guess. I was definitely having some starting issues there. It was pretty cold this day. Of course, at Ironman GNCC, and I did not get off the start well. The bike didn't start. And, it took me a little bit to get it going. So now it's time to work through the pack here a little bit. So got a couple of guys there pretty quick, and start trying to pick guys off as we go. Like I mentioned, the weather was definitely chilly. It was actually cold on the starting line. I had a coat on for a while. Looks like John Casey is right up there ahead of me. He's kind of working his way through too. He must have got a bad start also. Not sure what's going on with this guy here. He has no seat. So I don't know whether he lost his seat or he's doing some kind of a training ride where he's decided to take his seat off or not. But for me, it's a little bit too long of a race to take the seat off for sure. So a lot of cornfields here at Ironman, and they were pretty rough at the end of the race. A lot of these corn rows turned into really big braking bumps by the end of the race, and it got pretty rough. So I think there were like 19 or 20 bikes in my class, and I think I came off the road dead last. I've seen one bike off to my left. Looks like it had some issues starting, but I think I was pretty much the last person, so probably already made 5 or 6 passes and just about threw it away right there. Came in just a little bit hot, but just keep picking people off is the plan. This is only my 3rd GNCC race ever. I think that's actually a CR 500 right there. But this is my 3rd GNCC race. I got first at my first race ever, which was the Mountaineer. And then at Burr Oak, I got 5th. I think I had just a little issue on like the last lap, and I gave up a few places. I think I was running in 2nd or 3rd, maybe something like that. But at this point, I'm not completely sure where I'm at. I know I've passed about at least half the guys at this point. At the same time, trying to feel out the track. I live in Indiana, so as much rain as we got, I thought the track was going to be horrible. We expected a complete mutter, and luckily the ground was just dry enough that all the rain that we got, the ground was able to soak it all up. So you can see the traction is just perfect. There were really only a few spots that I would call muddy spots. The dirt in the woods was awesome. You could see great traction. Basically almost no dust to speak of, even in the fields. So here got another guy in my class, and anybody with a yellow sticker on the back of their helmet is free game. So trying to make another pass here. And as you know, when you're following close, that's when you generally make mistakes. At least that's kind of my experience. When I can kind of see what's coming, I'm pretty good. But when I'm right on somebody, kind of trying to make a pass, that's when you tend to not see a rut or not see a root or something like that. It's going to be a pretty long first lap. I think it was about 26 minutes and almost 26 and a half minutes. I see a little opportunity here and I actually ended up making several passes, a lot of passes throughout the day right there. People were braking really early in that spot, and I was able to sneak by quite a few people there. But fun little section here running along this creek. again, you can just see how good the dirt is. It's just awesome. So we're going to cross the creek here. Got a couple more people in my class, and I should have just bonsai'd the creek right here, and I probably could have passed one or maybe both of those guys, but I really didn't want to get my hands wet this early in the race, because again, it was cold. It was not warm. I'm not sure what the temperature was, but it was chilly. These whoops in this section right here got really bad by the end of the race. I mean, tough by the end of the race. I run my suspension fairly soft, and I was actually probably a little bit too soft for the track. I was not expecting the whoops to be as bad as they were. So you give up a little bit one way and you lose in another. So make a pass here, kind of go around the outside there, and then keep moving forward. There again, a lot of these fields where you came out into them, the braking bumps at where you entered the field, and the braking bumps where you're entering back into the woods. Pretty gnarly. Tight little section here. I ended up kind of, like on my third lap, I ended up not really wrecking, but just kind of dropping my bike a little bit over in that rut, and that kind of gave up a little bit of time. Then about a mile or two after I did that, I was trying to make a pass on a lapper, and they kind of came over on me, and I had nowhere to go, and I kind of ran up on a bank and took a pretty good fall. But this is still the first lap, and still just kind of feeling out the track, and picking off guys in my class here after the bad start. I liked this track a lot. I didn't get to run Mason-Dixon. The dust there looked just absolutely horrible. So I'm sure everybody that ran that one, this Ironman, was a welcome relief from the dust. These field sections were pretty fast. You could pretty much run just about as fast as you wanted. It's kind of upshifting kind of quick because I didn't want to pit for gas. And generally with my bike and generally the RPM range that I ride in on a 2-hour race, I don't have to pit. But with all of these huge open sections, I tried to just shift really quick and not get into the power band to conserve fuel, and that worked out just fine because I did not need to pit for gas. Got a couple more riders in my class here up ahead of me, and again just kind of starting to look for spots to sneak by. It was actually pretty good for me because I actually am pretty used to getting good starts. At OXCR, a lot of times I end up with a whole shot, so it was actually good practice to come out dead last at a GNCC. I had quite a bit of opportunity to work on making clean passes. Trying to pick an inside line or outside line, just depending on what the turn looks like. I'm going to try and sneak up on the inside here, but just couldn't quite outbrake right there. good pass there, nice line. And I think that's back up to John Casey again. He's like right in front of me. So John normally runs in the, I would say probably the top 3 pretty regular, so I feel pretty good about my pace if I'm riding with him. It's like somebody's got a tail on their bike there. So I think up here in a little bit, I think John makes it really easy for me, and he gives me a pretty easy pass here to make. So after the race, I went and looked at my results, and GNCC had me in 17th place, and I knew I had only went down one time, and I only lost just a little bit of time when I went down, maybe 30 or 40 seconds. So I knew that 17th place was not even close to where I was. And so I went and talked to the girls up at scoring a little bit, and they kind of sent me down to the finish line, and there wasn't nobody down there. And they had said that they were working on it. I think they knew there was some kind of a problem, but by the time we left, I was still in 17th place, and I was a little upset about it because I knew I was probably top 5. And I talked to John Casey after the race, and he thought I was in 3rd because I think he knew he was in 2nd. So there again, I was kind of confused about the 17th place. So ended up finally just leaving and came home and watched my GoPro and figured out what happened. I ran 4 laps, and GNCC scoring only had me running 3 laps. And I figured out what happened. They had somehow missed my first lap, so I went through scoring and the whole 9 yards, but for whatever reason it didn't register. So they had my first lap as taken 59 minutes. I timed my first lap, and it was 26 and a half minutes. So sent him an email, and tonight, which is the 2nd, I finally see that they finally changed scoring on their website, and they have me in 3rd place. So it makes me feel a little bit better. I didn't end up getting the trophy or whatever that they handed out, but at least they got the scoring right. So we're still just focusing here now on just kind of pacing off of John, just kind of keeping track of him where he's at. And the bike feels really good, and I feel really good at this point. There's no issue right now keeping up. So up here, you see here, John gives me a really easy pass right there. I'm sure he wasn't real happy about that. And I knew the pace John was running, so I tried to pick it up just enough to run a little bit faster than what he was running. And I also have open track now too, which later in the race is rare. There were like 980 bikes or something crazy like that on the start. But first lap right now, got some open track and trying to run away a little bit. At this point, really, I'm not really sure of my position. So it's just after a horrible start like what I got, it's time to put my head down and just sprint a little bit. So here's one of the little muddy sections. Like you can tell, it's really not that bad. And trying to make some quick passes here. I don't want to let John catch back up to me. So we're looks like about 16 minutes into the first lap, and I've probably passed everybody but just a couple at this point. You know, there's probably a few more guys ahead of me. So we get down this hill here, and I think I noticed the guy up there in the yellow shirt. I think I see a yellow sticker on the back of his helmet, so got my next target to chase down. But as you can see, we're also getting into some lappers. Got a really close call coming up the hill here. This guy right ahead of me gets real squirrely. Oof. That was close. Just about got taken out there. And now gotta make some passes and try and get up a few more bikes here real quick. This area right here was kind of, I don't know, I didn't care for it a whole lot. Just the way I don't like riding, you know, hard next to those fences like that. But it was a fairly easy place to make a few passes. Looks like a rider was down there. Finally catch up to the guy in the yellow here. I'm going to start looking for a way by. If I'd have been in that high line, I'd have had my pass right there, but the guy on the Honda there kind of stopped in the trail. Kind of messed up my momentum. Yeah, once again, these braking bumps later in the race were, I guess, not really braking bumps there, really acceleration bumps there, but got pretty tough by the end. I enjoyed the track overall. Thought it had a little bit of everything. I would have liked a little bit more technical stuff. I like the technical stuff, but it was a really fun track. First time I've ever ran at Ironman. All right, so I've been kind of watching lines here a little bit, and now I'm just going to start looking for a way by here. I can kind of tell I got enough speed at this point to pull away if I can get by. Just want to make a clean pass here somewhere. No, this section here might have been a bike-only section because looks more like single track than it does four-wheeler track. So probably a little bike-only section that we're in here. Definitely a little bit tighter. I like the tighter stuff. And yeah, you see that arm kind of hang down there for a minute. You know what that means? It means it's time to push a little bit. Maybe you're getting just a little bit of arm pump and time to sneak by. This particular race, I had just the tiniest bit of arm pump just a little bit early on, maybe just because of the cold weather. But, so I see me a good opportunity right there, and he might have had a little bit of an opportunity to stay ahead, but kind of gave him a hoot there. He was kind of starting to hold me up a little bit, and I figured John was going to start sneaking up on me if I didn't get by here. So I think that's another yellow sticker up there in the back of the helmet, so I got a couple more targets here to take a look at. The woods here kind of felt like riding at home. Just real, the woods I ride in a lot are real similar to this. Dirt's real similar to this. Yeah, snuck by there on the outside and kind of make that one stick. So I know at this point that I'm probably in the top 3. So I've passed enough guys at this point to be in the top 3. I was kind of trying to keep count the best I could as I was running. So at this point, the goal is just to run a fast, smooth race. And I was doing that fine until, like I said, like the third lap up. Lapper pretty much put me into the dirt bank and took a pretty good tumble actually. Took a while to get up and kind of get going after that one. During that tumble, that's when John made it back by me. I watched John's video, and I seen me basically sitting on my bike trying to find a spot to get in the row of bikes that were passing me when John went back by me there. So the end of the lap is where we get onto the motocross track just a little bit. As you can tell, catching up to a lot of people here. For being the first lap, I'm catching a lot of people. A lot of rows, I guess, of rows that were ahead of me. That was a little bit tight right there. I thought I could sneak by a little bit, but the guy didn't really want to let me by at first, and he kind of gave me a nice line by. So try not to force the issue too much, unless I feel like one of the guys in my class is right on me. Then I'll usually try maybe a little bit harder, but generally try to make just clean, easy passes. So we're going to run down the bottom of the hill here and I think go through a little creek section and then hop on the motocross track a little bit. I did not like this section right here. A lot of gravel. I think what that was is recycled blacktop. Kind of tough when you were following anybody, but all part of it. This little downhill right here, later in the race, I made a lot of passes on this little downhill right here. So here we're going to jump on the motocross track, and I kind of misjudge a few of these jumps, especially this one right here. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! That one hurt. I definitely don't have my bike set up for those type of hits. Of course, this is running the track backwards, and that's kind of why the jumps were situated the way they were. Still trying to make a few more passes right at the end of the lap here. Kind of keep getting pinched off here. Make one there. And I think I end up going around the outside right here. Yeah. All right, so we're getting ready to finish a lap. Good time at Ironman.